All right, welcome to step 3 of your Mondrian animal. In this last step, we're going to be adding the primary colors to your Mondrian neoplasticism grid to the interior. Remember, the 3 primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. Those are the only colors you will need in paint today. We're gonna leave some of these blocks white, and then as we completed step 2, we did fill in a handful of them black. But notice that we're not painting every single square or rectangle in your grid. We're definitely considering balance. We want a flow of red throughout, a flow of yellow, and same a balance of blue throughout. And again, leaving some spaces white or black. If you do not have tempera paint, so again, we're using tempera or acrylic paint in your primary colors. If you don't have paint at home, you can fill your neoplasticism grid using marker or crayon. That's acceptable. But here at school, our face-to-face learners will be learning about tempera paint and acrylic paint and applying that to our artwork. So in my demonstration, I'm going to be showing you how to paint nice and neat, making sure our strokes go in the same smooth direction as we fill in our neoplasticism grid, considering a balance of color in our composition.
We will be using tempera paint, or if you have acrylic paint, either one is fine, to add our primary colors to our neoplasticism grid. You will need red, yellow, and blue. You will need a cup of water, a paper towel, and a small paintbrush. I have 2 paintbrushes. One is really fine for those smaller rectangles, and then one is just a little bit bigger. We're going to start with one color. You can choose any color. I'm starting with red. And to begin painting, you are going to outline the shape that you are painting. By outlining the rectangle or the square, it's going to help you to keep your paint within that section. So you're carefully outlining the edges, and then you'll fill in that shape, making sure your brush strokes are going in one smooth direction. So I've chosen to paint vertically up and down. So all of my paint strokes are going in that same smooth direction, filling in that shape nice and solid, leaving no white space within that section. You can choose which one you want to start with. Obviously yours is not going to be exactly like mine. Everybody's is going to be a little bit different, but I'm working my way sort of across my chicken, starting at one side. I painted a red block, and then I'm moving to the middle, and I'm going to move to the other side. Again, we're trying to create a nice balance of color throughout the animal. You're not painting every single block. We just want a nice balance of red, a nice balance of yellow, and a nice balance of blue, leaving some white and some black. I found it works best to paint all of the red ones at one time, then wash your brush, paint your next color, maybe all the blue ones, then wash your brush. It's your choice which color you start with, but instead of painting one red, then washing your brush, painting one blue, then washing your brush, do all of your red ones, then wash your brush. That way you're less likely to contaminate your colors. You may also, as you can see here, if you're using tempera paint, which is a little less quality paint than acrylic, you're probably going to need to do 2 coats. So I'm basically going through and painting all of my ones that I've chosen to do red, but I'll have to wait for it to dry and go back and do a second coat. While I'm letting my red blocks dry, I'm going to move on to my next color, which is blue. And so now again, I'm starting at one side of my chicken. I've selected a blue block, and I'm going to try and create a nice balance of blue throughout my chicken. And then I'll move on to yellow, being sure to wash my brush thoroughly before switching colors. And then I'll go back and touch up and do a second coat. Again, notice I'm outlining the shape, then I'm filling it in, keeping all of my brush strokes going in one smooth direction. Neatness is part of your grade, so take your time, do a really neat job. If painting is a new experience for you, notice that I'm holding my paintbrush like I would as if I were holding a pencil. This is going to give you the most control over your strokes. Once you've completed your blue sections, you will lastly paint your yellow sections, making sure you have a nice balance of all three primary colors throughout your animal grid. At this time is when you'll go back and assess if you need to do a second coat. If you can see your brush strokes, that means you'll need to go back and do a second, sometimes even a third, depending on how quality your paint is. This last picture of the pig is what we're going for. We want nice, solid, clean blocks of primary colors throughout your animal, creating that Mondrian style neoplasticism. If you have any questions about this project, please don't hesitate to email me. Also, make sure you check out the grading criteria in your Google slide so you know what I'm looking for when grading this project.